In this final part of this series of videos, we'll be talking about how to find the actual volume using the formula we calculated in the last video. So the first part is to identify the upper and lower bounds we talked about in the first video. In this case, in this function, these bounds will be the intervals where the two functions meet. So which is pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6. So what we have to do is to substitute x in the formula with these two bounds. So in two separate calculations. So the first calculation, we have to substitute x with pi over 6 in the function, in the formula. And then the second part, we have to substitute it with 5 pi over 6. So in this video, in this part, in this section of the calculations, you can see the two how I calculated it with the antiderivative and integral calculator. So you can put in so this is just for v of pi over 6. We have to substitute x with pi over 6, and if you want to see this presentation for if this presentation isn't clear or you can't see it well enough, there will be a link to it in the description. And yeah, so you can see it here. You can just replace substitute x with pi over 6. We put it in there, we calculate it, and we multiply, we add, and we divide by 6, and the solution will be 0.22525. And then the second part is to substitute x again in the function in the formula with 5 pi over 6, like we did with pi over 6, the original with the lower bounds. Then we multiply, we calculate, we add and subtract, we divide, and b of 5 pi over 6 will be negative 1.796. We can take those two solutions and divide them by each other. So we divide v of 5 pi over 6 minus v of pi over 6, which will be negative 2.02125, which is our total volume. As you can see, this volume is negative. In the review video, which will be made by my supervisor, she will discuss how I calculated this, and we'll talk about why this is negative. So thank you for listening to these videos. I hope you enjoyed my model, how I showed it. Again, the link will be in the description, and thank you for listening. See you then.